Whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Esther Rhodes, and I would like to talk about banning uniforms in school. So recently my niece Claire had moved from New Jersey. She moved to Chicago, which according to the U.S. Department of Education, 80% of Chicago's public schools require students to wear uniforms. A few weeks ago I called Claire, who entered the 6th grade last year at Sauganash Elementary. Sauganash Elementary is a public school which teaches kindergarten to 8th grade. I asked her, how is school? And she responded by saying how much she hated having to wear navy blue and khaki all the time. She's a beautiful girl who loves pink and purple, and she's always had a closet full of these colors. But now she's furious to be wearing a blue top and khaki pants with a belt every day to school. My aunt says that after almost a whole year of attending this school, she still cries and begs her mom to let her wear a pink blouse or her Jonas Brothers t-shirt to school. So after 30 minutes of the phone conversation, Claire told me in full detail about the many students that received punishment or detention for not correctly following the school dress code. After we hung up, I decided to do some research. It seems that many private schools have always required some sort of uniform or dress code. Former President Bill Clinton mentioned the benefits of having uniforms in schools in his inaugural address in 1996. This then fueled the idea of having school uniforms in public schools, and now in many states and large cities, public schools require students to wear uniforms. This is a graph of the many cities with widespread uniform use in the public schools. New Orleans, Cleveland, Chicago, and Boston, Miami, Cincinnati. These are cities with a large amount of public schools which require uniforms. I feel that children are individuals too, and they have a right to their rights. Many parents and children as well feel that uniforms are a problem for them. After some research, I have come to find that I also feel strongly against uniforms, and I believe that they should be banned and removed from all schools. I know that many might disagree, but after hearing some interesting facts that I've discovered, I feel that you may change your mind. Uniforms were brought about for several reasons. One reason was to reduce violence and gang influence. A journal article called School Uniforms and Safety indicates that uniforms reduce gang influence by eliminating colors associated with gangs. However, an interview with students from Milpitas, California was found. They were asked if common dress protects them from the dangers of gangs and violence. All of these students deny such dangers of even existing in their area. A 15-year-old girl, high school girl, specifically replied by saying, "They told us that uniforms protect us from gangs, but there aren't gangs in elementary and middle school. That didn't make sense to me at all. If there were gangs, they'd be in high school, but there aren't gangs in high school either. There's a few people that act like Punky, trying to harass other people, but it's not a gang. They're just trying to act tough." From this interview, you can find that it is unfair for the students who attend the schools in these areas which don't experience any gang-related violence. A teacher also commented from Milpitas, California. She said that there was never any gang influence with the kids in her area, and that it was always an outside reason for the school district. It was always an outside reason that the school district brought up, due to the fact that they were in favor of school uniforms. A problem with eliminating gang-related colors in school is also that their clothing is what identifies them as dangerous. Since students are able to identify them as being dangerous, they can easily avoid the violence. But without the colors, how will they be able to identify these dangerous people? Another reason for putting uniforms in schools was academic achievement. By wearing uniforms, students were supposed to have their focus geared to learning, and they were expected to portray a better and higher academic performance. However, Professor Brunsma's article He is a professor at the University of Missouri. His article states that through research, they have found that grades have not improved nor faltered by having students wear uniforms. Therefore, uniforms seem to be ineffective for improving students academically. The last reason I would like to share for the purpose of uniforms is school spirit and uniformity. According to the article School Uniforms and Safety, school officials believed that if all the students wear the same outfit, there would be no jealousy. Students would dress alike, be treated alike. Students would dress alike, be perceived as alike, and thus they would be treated equally. By dressing alike and creating unity, school spirit could be boosted for a more exciting school experience. However, this suppresses individuality. According to the article School Uniforms in Public Schools, it discusses young people that are still in the process of developing who they are in sense of their identity and individuality. Uniforms deter children from discovering their true individuality. According to a couple from USA Today, Laura and Scott Bell filed a lawsuit over a uniform plan in Anderson, Indiana. They said that it violates their children's constitutional rights to freedom of expression. Parents also claim that it violates the right to raise their children without government interference. Ashley Crownover from Indiana says that it is her job to help her children learn what is and isn't appropriate clothing. Some other problems that uniforms cause is that it promotes low self-esteem. Uniforms may be flattering to some, but to others, it may cause low self-esteem. One student that was interviewed said that for obese students like himself, to hide his condition, he wears a certain type of style, so that with uniforms, his self-esteem seems to be lower because he may appear heavier, while to other students who are wearing the same uniforms, the uniform may look very appealing. One last problem that I also found was that it violates a guarantee of free public education. A parent, Mrs. Bell from USA Today, says that she now has to pay $641 for 5 sets of pants and 5 sets of pants and shirts. In conclusion, for the reasons indicated, uniforms were supposed to be a solution, but apparently instead they have caused more problems. Therefore, it seems that the solution to the newly erupted problems would be to get rid of these uniforms, since they are ineffective to the problems that were first created. No more school uniforms. Thank you.